All right, guys, so as most of you that know me know, I'm a big Honda guy. I've been a Honda guy my whole life. I grew up on Hondas. My first bike I ever owned was actually a 1990 Honda XR100, which is pretty interesting because here we are with a 1996 XR100. Now, I've had this bike since 2017. Anybody that knows dirt bikes or that's ridden dirt bikes has probably come in contact with an XR100. Even if you've never really been into dirt bikes, you've probably come in contact with an XR100. They were super popular back in the day. They were like the bike to have. I mean, these things are super reliable. They don't really have any issues with them, yeah, for the most part. I mean, you know, you start riding them hard, start beating the crap out of them, you know, like anything else. They need maintenance, they need a little love. But I picked this thing up for a little over $250 2 years ago. I mean, it was pretty rough shape. I mean, the guy who owned it was a total woodchuck. I mean, missing parts, couldn't start it, thing ran like crap. So I got it, and my goal was to just basically clean it up, and I wanted to ride it and get good at it. You know, I bought it because I wanted to get good at wheelies. And you guys that know my page, I've been riding wheelies now about 5 years. I grew up racing a little bit of motocross here and there, but it was always on trail bikes like this. You know, I never had 2 strokes or 125s or any of that stuff. It was always basic air-cooled type machines that were always underpowered. So, you know, XR200, I'm still looking for one of those. By the way, I should have never got rid of mine, but I'm gonna find one eventually. But anyways, what we got here at the XR100, all right, and I'm gonna basically be taking you guys through a rebuild on this bike. It's a great bike, and the thing is, as an adult, you know, I weigh 175 pounds. Basically, they don't like to get ridden aggressively too much. You know, if you ride these bikes real aggressive, eventually you get the infamous valve stick, right? Everybody knows about that. But this bike smokes pretty good, to the point where the rings are probably worn out. And I have to say that I'm not too surprised. I mean, I've ridden this bike really hard over over the past 3 years, learning how to wheelie, from chasing wheelies to dropping it back, flipping it over, doing pit bike races around the track, you know what I mean? And if you compared this XR to like a brand new CRF 150 or 125F or a KLX 140 or something, I mean, this bike's it's just not, it doesn't have the suspension, it doesn't have the motor, the clutch is kind of old style, you know, the carburetor isn't really the best. So I'm basically going to be taking this bike and I'm going to walk you through the steps of what I did to get it to where I like it. For all you that wheelie bikes, I recommend a bike like this, XR80, TTR, any of them. Any of those air-cooled bikes. And I don't care if people say, oh, it's good drum brakes. I don't care, dude. Learn how to ride that drum brake. Push through it if you have to, because if you can ride wheelies on a drum brake bike, you can pretty much ride them on anything. And especially these are so underpowered, you have to work to get them up. You know, I got little things here and there. I got, you know, 30mm bar risers, just help me out. But this is just basically an intro to the bike. Although it does look clean for its year, I'm gonna try to clean it up more. The seat cover has a hole in it. You know, I've used red duct tape, but it's not really how I like to do things. You know, and as you can see, the frame, you know, a bike that's almost 30 years old, dirt bikes really, you know, anybody that doesn't know, the life of a dirt bike is sometimes merciless, especially an air-cooled bike like this. Who knows what its life was before I got it? I mean, the poor thing was struggling to run, oil was shit. I mean, it was in rough shape. So stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna show you what's going on with it. I got a few things to wake this bike up to make it a little more competitive. I mean, I already did a few things to it already. You know, I got the Pro Circuit pipe on there, okay? It's nice because it's not real loud, but it's got a little grunt to it. I rejetted it. It's got a uni air filter. It also has the BBR CDI box, which actually really did a good job. As you can see, I got the frame brace on the bottom. Super important on these bikes, especially if you're an adult and you're trying to do any type of aggressive riding. I mean, these bikes, to stretch the frame, it is not too hard, especially as a big boy or somebody who's riding aggressive. I got the BBR rear shock. You'll see it's red. The original on the 96 was blue, but that's for an adult, so you can jump it. You're not blowing out the suspension or cracking the frame. The other thing that's big with this, I got an EBC clutch in it. I'm gonna redo all that stuff and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it, but I just wanted to go over the bike with you. And I think honestly, a lot of people sleep on these because with the modern fuel injection bikes coming out, you know, these are just dogs, but honestly, it's a fun bike. It's great for people that are unexperienced. It's also very good. I mean, you know, little kids can ride it. You know, everybody can ride this bike. I mean, when I'm done with it though, it'll be pretty good. I think it's gonna be a hot little bike for ripping around this, you know, play bike track we got here. I mean, she goes pretty good as it is. It's not a big jump or anything, but you know, she goes pretty good as it is. So I'm gonna go through the suspension a little bit. I may do some suspension mods in the front too. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through it and show you guys what to look for. And I mean, if you guys ever plan on stunting out a bike or doing something like that, this is a good choice, you know, because it's low maintenance and they're relatively easy to fix if they break, you know, if they break. I ride mine a little more aggressive than the average person, but either way, thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button below, and I'll catch you on the next video.